my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me.
Okay, put the power on here. We put the power strip. Yep. Pause her thing. Go to Chrome. Click at the bottom. Breathe. Minimize that.
Hey, I just read an unbelievable article in the Epic Times. Take a look. It was by Joshua Phillip, and in it, he talks about how political correctness is actually a tool that's used by special interest groups to control the narrative, change our very perception of reality, change our moral values, and eventually introduce totalitarianism. He calls it a form of psychological warfare. Wow, this is some of the great coverage that you can only find in the Epic Times. And take a look at this. Faith-based programs bring hope to veterans.
No chance of that.
We're back.
Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. All right, so are we? I don't know if anybody's even there. See, there's
It says
people in the
set.
waiting. Okay, see the waiting room. There are people here. All right. Admit all. Okay. All right, could I have an order of service?
We move it, my stuff out of the way?
No, that's all right, I'm just gonna stand very still. All right, could I have the prayer box back over here? Okay, good morning, welcome to Unity of the Hill Country. Very much live and in the moment. But I'm still not seeing myself very well on the screen. You might need to bring a little bit of light up. Yeah, thank you.
Let me get this on you quick.
That's all right. So we're live on Facebook and on Zoom, and I see that we have people online at Zoom. I can't see Facebook. Leave that. That's not what I want. I want you to please turn the light up in the room. In the room. In the room. Okay, so we're working with very little help, zero technical support today, except for Mandy putting together some lights and Paul's helping and Danny showed up, so thank goodness he did. So anyway, welcome. We'll hopefully get a little bit more pulled together as we go along, because we'll be doing this for quite a few weeks. But I really appreciate everybody who is showing up and supporting us. And let's just take a moment, because I really need to get centered in prayer. So let's just take a deep breath in and slowly release. And Danny, my mic is not on. Danny, would you please, I'm sorry, in the middle of the prayer, I just noticed the mic is not on. Could you turn up W2? The second one, just slide it up a little. Slide it up. Slide it a little more. Yeah, that helps. Now I don't have to shout to the world out in Facebook land. Maybe just a tad more. Perfect. Little, yeah, okay, I think that sounds good. Okay, now let's go back to our prayer. A deep breath, one more time. And release. Just let that breath settle in. And continue to breathe. The breath connects us mind, body, and spirit. It also connects us one with another. It connects us with those close by and those all around the world. Taking a moment, getting still. Wherever you are, together we open our hearts in gratitude. Open our hearts in gratitude for this opportunity to find interesting and challenging ways to come together. We appreciate this opportunity to grow, to stretch our minds and our capabilities, and to support one another. We call forth that absolute good from deep within. It's always there, but occasionally we lose our awareness of it. And in this moment, we call back from that stillness, from that truth of our being, that Christ's nature indwelling in each and every one of us. And for this truth, we say, thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Amen. So my mic is going in and out, it seems. I don't know exactly why, but we'll do the best we can. Hopefully you can hear me. I think probably my voice, my drill team commander voice can get to you out there, maybe when the mic drops out. Anyway, let's say our opening statement together here on the screen. I don't know if you can see it there. It's probably a little bit bright for you to be able to see it, but you know it is, there's only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe. God, the good, the omnipotent. And we know this is true. This is our very first unity principle, and we share it every single week. So I didn't print my slides out, Mandy. So I'm going to be looking at the one screen because I can kind of tell what's back there, and I'm just, forgive me that we're just working this out, and I guess my memory pack's a little low. But we're going 100% virtual now, so on Sunday mornings we'll be gathering at 11 here, as long as that's allowed, and if I have to switch it to being in my living room, then we'll still get together at 11 on Sundays. And then we'll start a series of opportunities to connect together on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. So on Mondays at 6 o'clock, I'll open up the Zoom line. We won't do Facebook Live, we'll just do Zoom. And we will open up Metaphysical Mondays. So Metaphysical Mondays will be an opportunity to come together, and I'll bring forward various metaphysical topics like what is mind,
and what is consciousness, and what is the soul, and what does the Trinity really mean in unity, and various things like that. We will have dialogue, have discussion. You'll be able to participate through Zoom. And for those of you who don't have cameras on your computer, you can still participate, you just won't be able to be seen. But if you have a camera on your computer, you can also be seen and share. And we'll come in, I've got it set up so everybody comes in with their mic off. And when we have those classes, I'll teach you how to turn your mic on and be able to participate. And then Tuesdays, I'm calling Tuesdays Tuesday Tenderness. So my point of this, and you know I like alliteration, so they all have the sounds, but Tuesday Tenderness will be an opportunity to get together. We will not record Tuesdays. We probably will record Mondays and Wednesdays for people who want to catch up on those things later. But on Tuesday, it'll be an opportunity for people who are maybe feeling a little sensitive right now with all the things that are going on in the world and are looking for an opportunity to come together and just share their real concerns. And I'll be offering various coping skills and techniques and practices that help you to move that anxiety, move that energy through you, settle down and find that peace and that love and that joy that possibly have been a little out of arm's reach lately. So we just want to bring you back to center, and we'll do that on Tuesdays. And then Wednesday will be Wisdom Wednesdays. And on Wednesdays, we'll just explore teachings from really anywhere I'm inspired to bring them, and you as well. So if you're interested in bringing something from the Upanishads or the Quran or the Bhagavad Gita, whatever, and the Bible, of course, because that's our primary text, we'll bring a topic and we'll introduce it and we'll discuss it openly and just explore together on Wednesdays. And then we'll go quiet for a couple of days on the online thing, but we do have an opportunity that I haven't even told Mandy about, because she's going to be coming into the office Monday through Thursdays, answering the phone, answering email, that kind of thing. But she will have the door locked because the building is not open to the public at this time. But you can call and talk with her, and what we want to do is we want to set up a connection process for everyone to be able to call in, and maybe if you want to take 2, 3, 5 different names of members of our community and just sign up to be in touch with those people. Call them. It doesn't have to be a 3-hour conversation, because if I thought you were going to call me and try to talk 3 hours, I wouldn't pick up my phone. So that's just me. Some people might like that. But we just want to touch base with one another while we can't physically come together and see one another and have our usual hugs and kisses. We just want to make sure that we're maintaining contact throughout our community. So if you want to participate, call the office. You can start calling now. The phones are open. Now, I'm sorry, I'm just being silly. And no one laughed. I saw a couple of smiles, but I have all of 3 people in the room. I don't have much of an audience. So you might be laughing out there. I'm just going to pretend you are. So call and give Mandy your name and tell her you want to participate, and how do you want to participate? Do you want to be someone who receives a call? Do you want to be someone who makes the calls? Or do you want both? You want someone to call you? It doesn't have to be the same person that you've signed up to call, or people. So it's just it's a fun kind of phone tree without it being an emergency that we have to relay. So anyway, those are things that we will continue to communicate through the email. And if you have not, if you haven't signed up for our weekly emails, you can email Mandy at secretary@unityhillcountry.org. And you can always be in touch with me. I'll be setting up one-to-one meetings. If you want to meet by Zoom, we'll be able to see one another. We'll be able to talk on the phone. If you want to send me a message in email, I'll respond. I'll be available. This coming week, I have a whole set of interviews and workshops for the Unity Worldwide Ministries intensive that I was supposed to be traveling for, but it'll all be virtual. But after that, I'll have a lot more time to set up those meetings. And just like the regular meeting with the ministers, If you have something on your heart that you want to share with me, you want, a purpose for the meeting, that's great. If you just want to connect, that's also just perfect. So let's do that, and if you have any questions, just let us know. So I don't think you can see, I'm not sure if you can see on the screen back here, but we have the phone number for Silent Unity. You can always call, and I encourage you during these anxious times, you can call Silent Unity every single day. I don't know how the phone lines are being managed right now. Probably people are working remotely and able to pick up the calls, even though they're probably not coming to the campus. But they'll still be answering calls, and they'll still be praying with you. Of course, I'm always available to pray with you. And you can write to Silent Unity. The address is on the screen. I'm not sure, is it showing up on Facebook, Mandy? Can you read it?
Yes.
You can read the screen? Okay, so you can see the addresses on there. So reach out and get the support that you need or that you desire. You don't even have to have a reason to call Silent Unity. You can just want someone to pray with you. So let's take a moment now. We've got the prayer chest here. And these have been receiving, we've received prayers here in the building. We have had the building open this week. It is now, as I mentioned, closed to the public. But we received these prayer requests handwritten all the time. We also receive them through our website, and you can even call in. If it's not too long, you can't give Mandy a long prayer request, but you could call in and give her your name or just leave a voicemail, and if you haven't called Silent Unity, you just want to call and leave us one, we'll jot it down real quick and put it in the prayer chest as well. But at this time, if you have something on your heart that you want to send to the prayer chest, take a moment and close your eyes and just open your heart and connect in and send your prayer requests to be added with those in the box. So let's close our eyes together and take a deep breath in. Drop into this moment. Awareness, this knowing. We absolutely know that there is nothing but God. There is only absolute good in this universe. All the prayers that have been submitted here, we'll pray over and we'll send them on to Silent Unity for 30 days of prayer. Prayer is powerful. Whatever your prayer request might be, if it's for financial stability, relationship, health, for the world at large, your prayers are powerful and they are responded to by that absolute good in the universe that we know as God, with a resounding yes, yes, yes. We're so grateful that we can claim this truth. We can claim this power as our own. We can share this power with others. We can know the absolute good is working for us all the time, in every circumstance. We call forth that absolute good from within each one of us. And we hold together in this truth for all the answered prayers, for all that we know. We say thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Amen. All right, so our vision statement, I don't know if you can see it, but I added a little caption just because of the way it is right now. I added our world celebrating the divine potential in all. We usually say celebrating the divine potential in all is our vision. But our world, I want to expand it out and include every corner of our beautiful planet, celebrating the divine potential, regardless of circumstances, regardless of how we're feeling in this moment. There is divine potential in every moment and in everything and in every person. And our mission statement is to live consciously Living consciously is being aware of that divine potential. Living consciously is, while you're in your home now, while it's quiet, becoming really aware and very conscious of your choices. Are you choosing to stay up all night and binge watch things? Are you choosing to care for yourself and go to bed at a reasonable time? Are you staying hydrated? Are you choosing your actions, or are you reacting? Living consciously is about choosing. Choosing from that place of understanding and knowing. So now we have a very first, is this on? Okay. I don't know, let's see, check that. Slide it up for the podium one, because Mandy Scott is going to read our daily word. She's the admin assistant here, and she's never done this before, so.
Good morning.
You don't have to think.
I'm Mandy Scott, and it's my pleasure to read the Daily Word with you today. We join with millions of Daily Word readers around the world in receiving this message. The Christ candle is lit, representing the divine nature within us all, although you can't see it. And this morning, our daily word is power, and the affirmation is, I take dominion over my thoughts, words, and actions. If you could repeat the affirmation for me. I take dominion over my thoughts, words, and actions. The power of God protects me. Today, I hear with renewed understanding this line from James Dillett Freeman's Prayer for Protection. In a growing awareness of oneness with my source, I realize the power of God works through me and as me, rather than simply in me or for me. I embody divine power by choosing words that affirm the truth that I am a spiritual being as I navigate the valleys and peaks of my human experience. By expressing my power, I am claiming dominion over my words and thoughts. I affirm statements of truth while releasing negative thoughts and ideas. I think and speak with the authority of my Christ presence. For God did not give us a spirit of cowardice, but rather a spirit of power and of love and of self-discipline. From 2 Timothy 1:7. Thank you.
Paul?
Hello, everybody. So can you all see me? Is the light working? Can you see me okay?
I don't think the lights did a good job, but
I look like I'm in shadow quite a bit.
you are. That's
So, I'm gonna sing a song I wrote. I've been invited, thank you Beverly for having me back. And in this time that we're living in, I feel like this has been a huge opportunity for personal growth and for every one of us to take a look inside and see what we're really made of and how we can help another person. And my spiritual program of recovery is being strengthened by this challenge. And I wrote a song. Basically, it's called Chop Wood, Carry Water. Sound okay for you guys? stronger than I thought, better than I was. Sometimes that's all I've got, and I can trust progress, not perfection. That's my only aim. Better man today than yesterday. So I will chop wood, I will carry that water, and I will try to do the next right thing. Yeah, I will chop wood, I will carry that water, and I will try to do the next right thing. Do the work, they said, one day at a time. Just keep it simple, you will be free. Breathe in, breathe out. So easy, take it easy, you will be fine. So I will chop wood, I will carry that water, and I will try to do the next right thing. Yeah, I will chop wood, I will carry that water, and I will try to do the next right thing. Stronger than I thought, better than I was. Sometimes that's all I've got, and I can trust progress, not perfection. That's my only aim. Better man today than yesterday. Yeah, I will chop wood, I will carry that water, and I will try to do the next right thing. Yeah, I will chop wood, I will carry that water, and I will try to do the next right thing. Yeah, I will chop wood, I will carry that water, and I will try to do the next right thing. Yeah, I will try to do the next right thing.
Woo, yay! Applause, applause, applause.
And the crowd goes wild.
Thank you, Paul. So we'll prepare for meditation by listening to Breathe. You can sing at home. It's Karen Drucker and Breathe. Just breathe. Here, I'll do it.
I need to try, no need to worry or question why. Surrender, let go, release and
Pause it. Okay, just a moment. I'm also AV.
let it be easy.
All right, thank you for your patience, and I don't even know if, okay, so can you hear this? All right, thank you for your patience. I am audiovisual, and I'm giving you your talk, and it's a little bit of a challenge, but thank you,
Doing a
Paul, for your
great job.
music. That was awesome, and Mandy. So let's take a moment and just, hopefully you're still breathing. That beautiful music from Karen Drucker. Just take a deep breath in and release. Take another deep breath in together and release. Just notice how your body begins to respond to your breath. Each breath allows you to let go just a little bit more each time. As you breathe in, you can feel that feeling of the air just expanding, energizing all the cells in your body, enlivening and healing. And as you breathe out, you're just releasing any distractions, any tension, any worry. Just allowing yourself to become present. Focusing on the breath. Just notice as it goes in the nostrils, it's just a little bit cool. And as it comes returning from your body, it's a little bit warmer. Breathing in, cooler, and breathing out, warmer. With your attention on the breath, follow that breath as it moves deep within, deeper and deeper still, moving to the very center of your being. And this stillness, and this calm respite at your very center. Simply breathe. Notice that stillness. Notice that quiet and that peaceful center. The longer you breathe, the calmer and more peaceful you become. The breath is a powerful tool. Now coming back from the silence. We come back with that sense of calm, with that peaceful feeling that we've created with our own mind, with our own intention, and with our own breath. We've aligned ourselves with the absolute good, alive and well. And with our attention back in this room, we just say thank you, thank you, thank you for this moment of peace and calm. And so it is.
Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel His mighty power and His grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel His mighty power and His grace. I can hear the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Darkness is light to Him, and night is as the day. Child, then take hope in Him. His love is here to stay. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel His mighty power and His grace. I can hear the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
And the clicker's not working. Okay, good. All right, so I know that from the feedback that I saw online, I was just taking a quick look, this is very bright, and I don't know how to just adjust it on the fly, but it can be adjusted so that the screen is not so bright. So we will do that next time. We're learning on the fly. So I've got a few minutes for my talk because we've just been doing so many other things, but I think it was important to share the announcements with you earlier, so we'll try to wrap this up pretty quickly. And then you can listen to Paul sing again. So my talk this week is about From the Darkness, and I am calling on some of the things that we have previously talked about. This is one of my favorite quotes from Martin Luther King Jr. Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. Love is what is coming up right now as people are sequestered at home. I've been watching Facebook, and Paul and Robin Hackett and a lot of different, Lisa Beck Crawford, and so many different people are going online and sharing songs and sharing their gifts and encouragement and resources. That's all love. That's all love coming up to meet us where we are in this moment. And over the past few weeks, we've been talking about the hero's journey. And we've been talking about the hero's journey as described by Joseph Campbell. And this is not a new concept that we go through this process. But what's new is that we're changing the dialogue of the hero's journey. We're kind of going back to the way it was as Jesus taught us thousands of years ago. Here, and again, I didn't print my slide, so I have to turn my back to you, I apologize. In Romans 13:8-10, owe no one anything except to love. For the one who loves another is fulfilling the law. Any other commandments are summed up in this word: love your neighbor as yourself. Love does no wrong to a neighbor. Therefore, love is the fulfilling of the law. Now, in the traditional hero's journey, that hero's journey is often, there's a hero and then there's a shadow, which is an antagonist. But what's happening right now is we are both our hero and our own antagonist in our minds. So we're struggling right now to choose which way do we want to move forward. Do we want to move with love, or do we want to move with fear? I'm inviting you to go back to the teachings of Jesus. He was a master teacher, and that's why we use the Bible as our reference, because there's a lot of good material. Yes, the Bible's full of all kinds of things, and you can go and pick things that will beat you up and make you feel terrible, or you can go through the Bible and you can find beautiful guidance for the way forward in this time. But as we looked a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about this whole shadow journey, and I gave you a quote from Carl Jung, and I'm gonna play with this quote a little bit, but I'm gonna read it to you again. The enlargement of the light side of consciousness has the necessary consequence that the part of the psyche which is less light and less capable of consciousness is thrown into darkness to such an extent that sooner or later a rift occurs in the psychic system. This is what happens when we're talking about that whole shadow archetype. And here's what he says happens from this, is at first this is not recognized as such and therefore projected, and it appears as a religious projection in the form of a split between the powers of light and dark. So right now we're projecting all of our fear and anger on a virus. A virus is just a virus. There are many, many viruses in the world. There will be many more viruses. But the more attention we give to it, the bigger we allow it to grow. It's very much about where we place our focus. So I've taken, that's a really interesting word, Beverly. I have taken Carl Jung's words and I flipped them on their ear. And I know that's very brazen of me, but just bear with me and see if you don't possibly enjoy this version
of this same quote. The enlargement of the dark side of consciousness has the necessary consequence that the part of the psyche which is more light and more capable of consciousness is thrown into the light to such a degree, to such an extent that sooner or later a merging occurs. The enlargement of the dark, which is what we're experiencing now, and that's why we're all hunkering down, the dark side of consciousness has the necessary consequence that the part of the psyche which is more light and more capable of consciousness is thrown into the light to such an extent that sooner or later a merging occurs. So right now, there's a lot of light being thrown out there. There's a lot of love being extended. Yes, there's also some pockets of fear, and there are people who are talking about conspiracy and whatever. Keep your attention on those people who are giving you their love. Keep your attention on the support that's available. Yes, take the precautions, wash your hands, socially distance. Even in this room, we're not standing terribly close to one another. Stay home if you're not feeling well. Take all those precautions, but don't allow yourself to be thrown into a darkness, into a fear and anxiety, and point fingers and get your mind twisted up. Focus on what's good in this world. Partake of those free things that are being offered. I don't know if you noticed that Mary Reed offered her Divine 444 program for free. I'm taking advantage of that. I'm going to tithe to her too, but it's really a wonderful program. So do the things that you need to do to take care of yourself and to keep yourself moving towards the light. It's a balancing act. We're not saying one or the other. We're not in battle with the darkness, because in unity we believe there's only light. And darkness occurs when you block the light, as if you had a lamp. A shadow is not a shadow except that where the light is being blocked. But if you pull your hand away, you remove the block, you remove your focus on the block, then there's only light, there's only love. And that's what you'll experience. So this is a symbol of the yin and yang, but I don't know if you can see it, but it's separated. And to me, that's the way that the Carl Jung approach is. Now, I love Carl Jung's work, and we can get ourselves in such a separation consciousness that we're not only separate from one another, but we're also separate within ourselves. And that's painful. And it's a delicate balance to maintain. But the real yin and yang is together. And the drawing of it is always balanced, that there's an equal amount of dark and an equal amount of light, masculine and feminine. But we all know that's not true. Some days you have more masculine energy, sometimes you have more feminine energy. Sometimes you have more positive thoughts, and sometimes you have more negative thoughts. It's a balancing, but not equal parts all the time, but it's in balance overall. That when you know that something is bothering you and your emotions are getting out of hand, that you also understand that you're not totally lost. I love this quote from Leo Tolstoy. He says, "There is something in the human spirit that will survive and prevail. There is a tiny and brilliant light burning in the heart of man that will not go out no matter how dark the world becomes." There's at least a tiny bit of light in every person, in every situation, in every opportunity. And it will never go out. And with our focus, we can bring balance. We can bring that back into focus. We don't have to totally deny that there's darkness. It is, but it's a part of who we are. When Mary Reed was here, she was sharing in her mystical experiences that when she asked this consciousness of Christ, what about that darkness? How to pierce it, how to remove it? The guidance was not to try to remove it, because that rejection of whatever the darkness is
is what feeds it with that, meeting it with that same sort of rejection energy. It's compassion, it's love that makes the difference. We talked last week about the dark wolf and the white wolf story. And we know that we shared, I shared a couple of weeks ago, that people often stop this story. And if you don't know it, you can look it up. I'm not going to go through the whole story again right now. But people often stop the story by saying, it depends on which wolf you feed. But the fact is, we have to feed both wolves. Because what you deny and what you don't feed, that wolf is going to be stalking you, looking for a chance to make its attack. So we have to feed the dark wolf, whatever we call that, fear, anxiety, rejection. We have to feed it with compassion and feed it with love. So from the darkness comes the message of love. That's what happened in Mary Reed's life. That's what's happened over the centuries, over and over and over again, is from a moment of darkness, there's an eruption of the contrast. Contrast is not bad. We could never have a photograph without contrast. We love black and white photographs for the purpose of the contrast that it gives us, the beauty that comes from the contrast. There is so much beauty that comes from contrast if we embrace it. And right now, in this time where we're home alone, some of us, we can reach out, we can do things, we can make connections, and good can come out of every situation. So please don't allow yourself to get totally in that idea. Even the toilet paper hoarders, right? You know, they've reacted out of fear, and they've grabbed all the toilet paper, and the rest of us can't get any. There's no reason to be mad at that. It's a place to pull your compassion forward for the fear that they must be having, that they would grab all the toilet paper, or whatever the behavior is that we might look at and judge as being a less than or a negative behavior. Whatever it is, compassion and love are always the answer. So for this week, your weekly practice is to be love. And we'll post this on the website if you can't see it. But the practice is to be love in all things. See love, think love, speak love, and act from love. That's basically the 5 spiritual principles of unity put in a little heart-shaped package for you. You are love, and you can be love. Thank you. Paul, you're up.
Yeah, I'm sitting here writing a song based on what you said. I actually wrote 2.
Are you going to sing them now?
Well, I'm going to try. There's so much material there. You're giving me so much to work with.
So this is songwriting in the moment, huh?
Okay, I'm trying. This is unprecedented.
And it's live.
Okay, the first one, I've got about 30 seconds of the song I was writing, listening to your talk about the darkness. Let me see if I can come up with a melody.
It's a workshop.
Don't curse the darkness when you lost your way, even when you think it's more than you can handle. Don't curse the darkness, that's the easy way out. Find a new way, light a candle. We are part of the problem, we're part of the solution. We can be on any side that we choose. Don't curse the darkness when you lost your way, even when you think it's more than you can handle. Don't curse the darkness, that's the easy way out. Find a new way, light a candle. Find a new way, light a candle. Find a new way, light a candle. Okay, so that was like completely off the cuff. I hope y'all know that.
That was awesome.
That's good.
I think it was channeling something else. That was and then the wolf thing, okay? This came to me. Which wolf are you feeding? The wolf bad? Which wolf are you feeding right now? The good or the bad? Your answer, it might depend on the experience that you have had. What are you listening to right now? Where is your attention at this very moment? What you feed is what will grow. That's a fact. Which wolf are you feeding? The good or the bad? Your answer, it might depend on the experience that you have had. The one you feed is the one who thrives. That's a fact. The one you really need is the one that feeds you back. Which wolf are you feeding? The good wolf, the bad? Your answer, it might depend on the experience that you have had. The one you feed is the one that thrives. That's a fact. The one you really need is the one that feeds you back. The one you feed, the one that thrives, that's a fact. The one you really need is the one that feeds you back. Which wolf are you feeding? I had no idea what was going to come out when I started that. So y'all were, this was a rare experience. This was totally unscripted. I got to tell you right now. It was based on
That
like
was
what you said there.
Thank you so much.
A little dark, but you know.
Okay, so obviously we cannot take a love offering right now, but many of you have been mailing in or dropping off, which I would suggest the mailing part, because Mandy's not gonna open the door if you come. She might let you slide a check in. But anyway, thank you for your continued giving and support of this community. We want to get through this thing and come out on the other side, being able to come back together and hug and kiss and, you know, be a community once again. But in this moment, we're taking care of ourselves. So we're going to close with prayer of protection in song. So if you want to just close your eyes and enjoy,
we will conclude with that, and thank you all for showing up, and we will smooth it out next week, and namaste. I love you very much.